How are y'all today?
Good.
Okay, so so we just had a retreat yesterday. How many of you came for the retreat yesterday? Oh, good number of you. Hope it was. The feedback from the participants were rather interesting. Yeah, maybe later I can read some to you all. Yeah. Okay, let's see. On my left, who is new here for the first time? Yes, hello. Tell us your name and how you got to know about this group cultivation.
My name is Guan. I'm a practitioner of yoga and vipassana. So this year I was looking for more knowledge in Buddhism. So I Googled and found some different group. Some group are more traditional. I'm more interested in the principles.
In the what?
Principles.
You're interested in the principle.
Yes.
Okay. And did you find it on Eventbrite or on Facebook or?
I think I know you probably through a totally different event. You were a speaker in USXG 2016. So
Okay.
I come from that path.
I see. Okay. It's been a while.
Yes.
Yeah. 1.5 years ago.
Yes.
September 2016, right?
Yes.
Okay. I shared. I was the final keynote.
Yes.
Yeah.
Last day.
The last day. Yeah. So how have you been?
Pretty good.
So you must be a designer or something?
No, I'm in technical side.
Technical side.
Yes.
Okay. So how was the conference for you?
Oh, actually I didn't attend the conference.
Oh.
I only watched the YouTube video.
Oh, you watched the YouTube video.
Yes.
And how did you end up watching that YouTube video?
Oh, because I think while looking for more video of you, then I found other video that I realized that you are actually speaking on the other event.
So you were stalking me?
Yes.
Well, finally we meet.
Yes, thank you.
Welcome. It's not every day that you have a stalker come up front to you and say, yeah, I'm stalking you. And what's your name again? Wan. W-A-N. Okay, is that your surname? Okay. Okay. Cantonese. I see. That's your surname. Your name wouldn't happen to be OB, right?
Yes, that's my nickname.
That's your nickname.
Yes.
OB1.
Yes, OB1, yes. Yes. Yeah. That has been my name for many years.
I see. So have you found Yoda? Welcome. Okay, so let's see, who else is here for the first time on my left? I think they are all season parking holders. Okay, on the right. Okay, who wants to go first? Yeah, she was asking for the mic already. Yes. How are you?
Yes, I'm fine. My name is Hong Li. I'm a nurse.
Good. And how did you come to know about this group cultivation?
My sister introduced me come here.
And who is your sister?
My sister is Wang Ke.
Yes, I remember you. How have you been?
What?
How have you been? How are you? These few years? Wait, you are the same sister that I met long time ago, right?
Yes.
We went to eat at this noodle shop, and I asked you how is the noodle, and you said that it's horrible. and later on, I discovered why you say it's horrible. Yeah, because later on I went to I had a few visits to China, and then I'm like, oh, no wonder she said that our food is horrible. because the noodles in China is amazing. Yeah.
Yes.
So you are working in Singapore now?
Yes, I'm working in care for more than 6 months.
More than 6 months?
Yeah.
And how has Singapore treated you so far?
It's okay.
Usually when people, it's okay, you know it's not so okay.
so tired.
So tired?
Yes.
On behalf of a grateful nation, we thank you for your nursing services. It is wonderful that you and your sister take up nursing. I know of a few Singaporeans who are nurses as well, but nursing is a profession that you really must have a calling for, because it is rather unappreciated, and it's very taxing. Yeah, it's very taxing. So thank you. And who else? Yes, we have a couple there. Yes. Hello. Yes, tell us your name and how you got to know this wonderful group.
My name is Chua.
Chua. Hello, Chua.
And my wife.
And your wife.
My daughter bring me here.
Your daughter. Who is your daughter?
I said,
Yes, Kai Xin is your daughter. Wonderful. Welcome. Sorry? Come again?
because it's Sunday today.
Because it's Sunday. So every Sunday you will join us. Because Sunday comes every week, you know. And what is your wife's name? Hello. She's shy, huh?
She's just like me. I got it from her.
Really? Are you shy? So what is your wife's name?
Biwa.
Bihua. Hello, Bihua. Very good to see you. Welcome. Yes. So let me see. Everybody. Hey, Mansing, why are you sitting all the way at the back? There are 2 business class seats in front that we have available for you to do an upgrade. Come, be upgraded. Yeah, come forward. In front. Not here, but there. Yeah. Yes, first row. Yeah. Of course, if you want to sit next to me, I welcome that as well. So, welcome to SGC. Once a week, we'll meet up together, and then we'll do a bit of chanting, we'll do a bit of sitting, and we'll do quite a bit of Dhamma sharing. So, as you can see, we have English as the main medium. And one of the reasons is because in Singapore, for most Chinese temples, we usually have all the services conducted in Mandarin. But increasingly, Singaporeans are becoming more and more kantang. Especially so for the younger generation. So it is our wish that Buddhism is made more accessible to the younger generation. But at the same time, we don't want to miss out on the adults and also on the seniors. So as you observe here, we have the young, we have the even younger, and we have the very young. See, everybody is young. So today we're going to talk about the 3 messengers. So this is a very interesting sutta. The sutta is called the 3 Divine Messenger. Have you all seen any divine messenger before?
No.
Yes, that's very good. Because if you have, then today's session will be very short. Since you have not, then I shall share with you about the 3. We haven't switched it off. Switch it on yet. Okay, let's wait for it to boot up. So the three divine messengers. What are the three divine messengers? And what do they do? In one of the sutta, the Buddha shared that that there was this scenario, yeah, where a young man living his life, indulging in the senses, not doing anything wholesome, not doing anything good. After dying, through that indulgence, would be reborn in the lower realms in hell, and then he would come upon King Yama. Yeah, King Yama is in Chinese Yan Luo Wang. Do you all know Yan Luo Wang? Chinese know Yan Luo Wang. Yeah, but King Yama we don't know. It's actually the same person. Yeah, so in this sutta, the Buddha described what goes on in between. Yeah, so King Yama would ask the young man, "Have you not seen the first divine messenger?" And then the young man replied "Have you seen the first divine messenger?" No. Yeah, so the young man said, "No, I have not seen the divine messenger." So King Yama asked him, hang on, what is today's date? So King Yama asked him about that, and he said he has not seen. In fact, he's like, what is the divine messenger? So King Yama asked him, while you are young, have you not seen someone old, someone who has come of age, yeah, someone who is far gone in age and bent over, wrinkled, and so on, yeah. And then the young man is like, "Oh, that's the divine messenger." And then he said, "Yeah, has it not occurred to you when you see such a person that old age too shall come to you? Yeah, that while you are young, old age can come. Yeah, that while you are young, you should make good use of your time to do something good with your life." Yeah, and the young man said, "Oh, I did not." Yeah, and then King Yama told him, "Yes, you were negligent. You did not pay attention, yeah, to the things that are important. You know, you did not see the first divine messenger, and because of that, you'll be subjected to much pain and suffering." Aging. Then there's a second one. Can you all guess what is the second divine messenger? Yes, sickness. And then similarly, King Yama asked, "But have you not seen the second divine messenger?" And again he's like, "Oh, what is the second divine messenger?" And again King Yama said, "While you are youthful and you are healthy, have you not seen others fall sick? And being sick, they are subject to a lot of pain and discomfort. Their faculties become impaired, and so on and so forth. Yeah. Having seen that, did it not occur to you that while you are healthy, sickness can come anytime?" Yeah. And he said, "Oh, no, I didn't." And again, he was reprimanded. Yeah. "Yes, you didn't. And for that, because of that negligence, you live your life just indulging in the senses, yeah, not spending time to do good, yeah, doing things that are wholesome, and for that, yeah, you'll be subject to pain and suffering. So, what is the last divine messenger? Last? Death, yes. Oh, I can see that all of you are very serious looking now. All of you. And similarly, King Yama asked whether he has sinned, and again he has not sinned. And King Yama again asked him, while you're alive, have you not seen people around you pass away and die? Yeah? Has it not occurred to you that death can come at any time? That you should, while alive, do good, yeah? Do wholesome deeds. He said he didn't. Yeah, and then likewise King Yama chided him that yes, you were negligent. Yeah, you did not make good use of your time while you're alive. Yeah, you did not. That seeing how others grow old, fall sick, and die, it didn't awaken you that happens to you as well. So this account of the three divine messenger, it can be found in the sutta, yeah. And in a way, who else has seen these three divine messenger? Yes? Say true? Huh? You saw them? Huh? Where do you see them? Chariot. You see them float past. Has any one of you seen people who grow old? Say yes. Yes. Have you all seen anyone fall sick?
Yes.
Have you seen anyone pass away?
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe not directly. Yeah, you didn't see that person. Yeah. But you would have. I mean, death is no joking matter, huh? Yeah. But I'm sure we all have, directly or indirectly, heard of someone passing, be it a family, yeah, close or distant, or perhaps a friend, or perhaps a friend of a friend, yeah. Perhaps it's a distant family, or otherwise, maybe it is the relative of a friend or a colleague, yeah. And even if somehow in your family no one has died in the past 3 generations, yeah. Your great-grandfather is still around. Yeah, half your house is actually an old folks' home. All of them are still there. One more. Yeah, whole family. No one died for the past 3 generations. Yeah, the only one that died was like too far away. So nobody has any recollection of anyone passing away. Let's say. Surely you would have read the news about calamities that happened in the past few months or few years. Yeah, in the past 10 years, there are so many calamities, natural calamities. Yeah, we have earthquakes, we have tsunami, we have all kinds. Yeah, we have epidemics, and worse yet. Yeah, as far as death is concerned, we are in no short of cases. Yeah? In the past few weeks, there were numerous shootings in US. Yeah. So surely we would have heard of it. Sickness is even more apparent. Yeah, sickness. How many of you have never fallen sick before? Do not raise your hand. Yeah. You'll be scorned upon, like, you healthy person. Yeah. I'm sure all of us have fallen sick before, right? Yes? Okay. The funny thing is that, see, we all have fallen sick before, but it seems to be quite okay. Yeah. Maybe it's because in modern times, even if you fall sick, we usually recover. You probably would have heard that flu is actually fatal. It can be fatal. Yeah. Every year there are people who die of flu. So many times when we say that we have flu, I don't know whether we really have flu. Yeah, because if you have, only when you have like, I think aches in the bone area, yeah, then that's actually a symptom of influenza. Yeah, otherwise, we are usually just catching a cold, something like that. Yeah. So regardless of that, most of us have experienced some kind of bodily ill. Yeah. But perhaps because in today's context, it seems like we do recover. Yeah, but at the same time, things like flu can kill. And what else? Yeah, we hear about cancer. Yeah? In recent years, just in the past 2 years, I've heard, in fact, in the past 6 months, yeah, I've heard of so many new cases of people around me, if not people around my students, yeah, who have contracted cancer. Yeah. Is cancer curable? At this moment, if it's stage 1 and the necessary treatment or operation is done, it can still be cured. Yeah. In other countries, research are being done and there's some breakthroughs. But still, sickness is there. Yeah? And even if sickness doesn't result in death, there's still sickness that can threaten our life and that can impair us. Yeah? So even something like headache can cause us to be incapacitated. How about aging? Some of you may be thinking, Sifu, today's topic is quite depressing. Talk about dying lah, fall sick lah. Then talk about aging. Yeah? Can you stop reminding us about the harsh reality of life? Yeah. How many of you think that you are old? How many of you? Surprisingly, it's the young people who raise their hand. Yeah. Old people don't want to think that they are old. I'm not old. I'm not old. Who? It's like people who are drunk, Drunk? I'm not drunk. I can take more. Yeah. But do not be mistaken. Yeah, I'm not discriminating against elderlies. In fact, there was once I saw this picture. It is you know how the glass bottle cap, yeah, and then these days we seldom have glass bottle, and in the past, like Fanta, all those drinks, then they have the cap, and sometimes they have lucky draw, yeah, and then you open up and you can see what is inside, and you have to peel the rubber off and you can see something inside. So I saw one of these on the internet, and it says this. It says, be glad if you are old, because it is a privilege that not everybody has. I thought that was so mind-blowing, because usually when we ask people like, how old are you, and if they are past a certain age, I don't know, sometimes it's subjective, Would you say 50-year-old is old? How about 60? How about 30? There are people who are 26 and they feel that they're old. Yeah? There are people who are 24 and they feel that they're old already. Yeah? Sometimes it can be quite subjective. But I think most people would agree that by the time you are 50 plus 60, regardless of how people feel, we may think that, yeah, we are old. And sometimes people don't like to talk about their age because it's a reminder that they are of a certain age. Yeah? There's a certain intoxication with youth. that we like to be seen as young. Yeah? Who likes to be seen as old? Nobody. Who likes to be seen as young and youthful, full of life, exuberant? Yeah? Yeah. And that's the thing. Yeah, we are so intoxicated with youth. In fact, there are many Buddhist societies that has a lot of programs catered for youths. There was once I told some of them, I said, Buddhism is not just for youths. Yeah, it should be for all ages. In fact, the group cultivation started off as a group cultivation specific for youth. Yeah, and I told them, no, let's open up for all ages. Yeah, enough of catering for youth. Youth will, in a few years after that, youth are adult and then no more youth. Yeah. Then what are they going to do? So to me, sometimes we are so unconsciously intoxicated with youth that it's almost shameful to tell people we are old. Or maybe we just don't want to be associated with them. Why? Maybe because we feel that if we start seeing ourselves as old, then we are passé, Yeah, we are some bygone era, no longer relevant. And the whole idea when people say, "Oh, I'm young at heart," what does that mean? It means you are old. If you are young, you don't have to be young at heart. But what is so wrong about being old? Yeah. Am I old? 45? Is 45 old?
No.
For some of you. I'm like, oh, what do I care? Yeah. The honorific. If you greet a monk or nun, we usually say 师父, 法师, or venerable. Yeah, the word venerable actually means someone who is venerable, who is elderly. And that's why when I went for those interfaith dialogues, and when I'm introduced as venerable so and so, there was one time someone came to me and said, "How old are you?" I'm like, at that point in time, maybe like 30-something. Yeah, and the person was like, 30-something? Why are you called a venerable? So the thing is that, number one, in Buddhism, we are considered venerable not because of our age, yeah, but because of the number of years we have been learning and practicing. Yeah, by virtue of that. More about that. Yeah. So, but in the past, being old is looked upon to be respected. Yeah. We have this saying, 敬老尊贤. Yeah. To show respect to the elder, and then to honor those who are virtuous. Yeah. So, old age, no big deal really. Yeah. Be happy that we are old. Be proud to be old. Yeah. I mean, I'm just looking around. I don't mean to look here and look there and say that you are old, you're old. Yeah. So, aging, sickness, and death. There's someone else who have seen these three divine messengers. While we all have seen these three, it may strike us at some point in time, and we may think about it. I've talked to many different people about topics like this, yeah, and for many people, they would think about it for a while, but for many of them, they would then brush it aside. They will look at me and like, oh yeah, but this kind of thing, what can we do, right? Yeah. And many times people will just sort of accept it as part and parcel of life and not think about it. Yeah. Either because it's too complex, or maybe they don't really have an answer for it. Now, there was a person in human history who encountered these three. Yeah. He is none other than the Buddha. He encountered these three before he became the Buddha. It was when he was known as Prince Siddhartha. Yeah, as the prince, when he was tasked to take over the kingdom, yeah, from his father, King Suddhodana, he requests to leave the palace to visit the people, yeah, to go out and see what is out there. If he's going to rule the country, rule the state, then he should know what exactly and who exactly he is going to rule. Yeah? And that is none other than Kapilavastu, yeah? the capital state. And so it is said that when he left the palace and exited one of the gates, and before he went, his father prepared a whole entourage, clean up the path, make sure that everything is nice and dandy. Yeah? And why? Because way before he come of age, when he was just a newborn, there were a few sages who was invited to foretell his future. And a few of them all said that there are two possibilities for him. That one, he could become a world teacher. Or two, he could become a world leader. Yeah, a king of the world. And then the last one, I think is Sage Atisha, or I think it's Atisha. So one of them then told the king, no, his future is certain. He will forsake the crown, he will forsake the palace, he will put all that aside to search for the truth. And he become the world teacher, yeah, become the Buddha. So then the king was very distraught. Yeah. Is there any one of you who is king and queen? Anyone from royal family? Any sultan here? Any prince something? No? Any dukes? Well, since there are none, there are none of you who are royalty. So, how many of you would be okay if someone told you that your child shall grow up and then leave your family and ordain and become a world teacher? How many of you will be okay? Do you have any kids yet? Okay, but you in future okay lah. Okay, so next time before you get married, you better tell your wife, you know. You'll be okay. You'll be okay. You'll be okay. Val, can you help me take note of their name? Who else? Then nobody raised their hand. Jean will be okay. Who else? Sui Zhu will be okay. Huang Ke, you better take note. Sui Zhu. Where's Huang Ke? Huang Ke, take note. Sui Zhu say okay. Are you okay? Oh, you didn't hear. So I was asking, how many of you will be okay if your child in future leave the family life and ordain and become a world teacher? You know that. So are you okay? Will you be okay? You know, be okay. Oh, very honest answer. Very good. Who else is okay? You are also okay. Jen is also okay. Okay, so please take note of all the names, okay? So you can send out recruitment flyers. For the Buddha's father, who is a king, he was definitely not okay. Yeah. So he asked, like, why would that happen? And the sage told him that, well, in future, when your son see these three things, aging, sickness, and death, he will forsake the worldly life, yeah, sensual pleasure. He will forsake everything and then leave the family, leave the palace, and seek the truth. Yeah, when he see the fourth sight, which is an ascetic. Yeah, so the Buddha's father spent all the time trying to shield the Buddha from these three things. Yeah. For us, are we shielded? Are we shielded from all these three things? Not really. Yeah. Yes and no. We are not shielded in the sense that we ourselves fall sick. We can see people around us fall sick. We ourselves, we are growing older and older. Yeah. So even when we are young, we can see people around us who are older. Yeah, and some of them may be much older. Yeah, thanks to the very dense population, yeah, it's not difficult to bump into an old person. Sick people we have seen, and with information overload, we can see sickness from all over the world, death from all over the world. Yeah, but at the same time, we are somewhat shielded. Yeah? When you go into the service industry, to some extent, we see a lot of young people. In recent years, we see more old people. Yeah? And in recent years, there's all this question mark about why are we requiring our elderly to serve at coffee shop and things like that. Yeah. I've heard of how individuals from Myanmar, from nearby countries, whom we feel that their standard of living is lower. Yeah, we feel. Yeah, but even for them, they look at this and say, this is ridiculous. They feel very uncomfortable that they are being served by an elderly person. Because they say that in the country, the young serve the old elderly. Yeah. In fact, there's a Chinese saying, right? 扶老携幼. Yeah? To assist the elderly, yeah? Or to support the elderly, and then to assist the young. Yeah. Now, the young get everything. Again, youth-centric culture, you know. Yeah. The young people just sit in the seats and then kiao, and the elderly come up. The moment we see the special seat, you know, our reserved seats, when we see such a sign, it's actually not a good sign. When the society need the institution to put up a sign to tell people to do good, that's not a good sign. It means that we are so depraved of morality that we don't have the sensibility to give up our seat to people. In fact, I wrote an article about this, that as we criticize, maybe a few months ago, there was a whole series of people taking pictures of those who kiao car in a train, in a bus, you know, just ignoring. Yeah. But I also wonder, so just because we put the purple seats there, and people start to look at those who sit in the paper seat, what about those who are in normal seats? You mean people in normal seats don't have to stand up? Yeah? We have become so regimented, so law by law, you know, Singaporeans, that we give up our common sense. We say, oh, only when the rules say I have to do this, then I do this. It's just so ridiculous. In future, I think we will have to pass a law to say children have to take care of their parents. Yeah? Do we really have to come to that? Well, in the Buddha's time, he didn't encounter any of this. And then when he left the palace to take a look outside, the king cleared up the whole place. In the palaces, there are 3 palaces. He was not exposed to any of this. So when he was going out, the king made sure that even when he visited the city, he would not see anything. Yeah, he will only see the whole place that's clean. Yeah, he will see people waving with flowers, probably. Yeah, maybe with the state flag, welcome. Everybody wear nicely, you know, maybe with the Sakyan T-shirt. I don't know. I don't think they wear T-shirt last time. Yeah. When I was in secondary school and I read about this, I was like, wow, amazing, isn't it? Yeah. But in recent years, when I think about it, doesn't sound too far-fetched, really. Yeah, because that's what we do today. Yeah, that's what we do today, isn't it? Yeah. Whenever some people go and visit the place, everything is, you know, decked with flowers and clean up. Yeah. This is the charade that we put up. Yeah, to let some individuals see the perfect world. But then the Buddha was different, because when he went out, somehow he bumped into someone who is old, someone who is sick, and then he bumped into a funeral procession. in some of the commentaries, it is said that the king really cleaned up the whole place. So how did he end up seeing the old person, sick person, and a dead person? In the commentaries, it says that the old person, sick person, and the funeral were actually manifestation by heavenly beings. Yeah. Then in some, I think in some texts it says that it's the Bodhisattva who come to make sure that the Buddha saw those things. Imagine if one of them went on sick leave, Yeah, if one of the Bodhisattva went on sick leave, today quite tired, later. Then Buddha, how? So in any case, the Buddha saw that and he became compelled. Yeah, it kind of awakened him to the state of affair. Yeah, and the dialogue between him and his attendant was very interesting. He asked the attendant, "What is that?" Yeah, when he saw an old person, he asked, like, "What is that?" And the attendant replied that that's an old person. Huh? Old person? What do you mean by old person? He's like, he looks different from us. Yeah. Over lunch earlier, we were talking about something similar. Yeah, that sometimes we become so, when we see something so frequently, we kind of forget about it. Yeah, we kind of become normalized. We filter it out, thinking that that's just life. Yeah. So, for the Buddha, when he see these three, he then asks like, "Wow, you mean?" And then the attendant told him, "Yeah, that's normal. Yeah, and it's going to happen to you as well." And the Buddha was like, "It's going to happen to me, and it's going to happen to you. Yeah, it's going to happen to all of us. Even my father and mother. Hello." 好久不见哦，好吗？来，吃饱了没有？吃饱了，吃什么？
吃饭。
吃饭哦，啊，有没有喝汤？
有啊。
有，有没有吃菜？
有啊。
有没有吃鸡肉？
有啊。
是不是素鸡肉？不是。你没有见过老病死？
没有。
没有。你奶奶几岁
？8岁。
8岁啊？你奶奶8岁？你几岁？你几岁？
可是我哥哥。
啊？
可是哥哥我才知道。
你哥哥几岁？
可是我哥哥我才知道。
哦，你要问你哥哥才知道。
哦。因为我每天都不知道我们的啦。
你每天都不知道你每天什么的啊？
我知道我几岁。
不知道你几岁？哦，好。
可是我哥哥才知道。
哦，好 ，OK。来，掌声鼓励。我们今天的特别来宾，超级可爱。就是这样子，然后我们就把老病死忘得一干二净。This is why we get stuck in samsara, Yeah, we get intoxicated with the kid, and then we forget about old age, sickness, and death. Yeah. Until one day we wake up and we look in the mirror, who is that? Yeah. So for the Buddha, when he see these three, and he was told that it happens to him as well, that it will happen to him, it's a matter of when and not a matter of if. When he was told that, even his parents, that no one in the land is free of these three, is still subject to aging, subject to sickness, subject to death, subject to all the discomfort, the pain, the suffering that these three brings. that ultimately when we are separated by death, that we would grieve. We would feel sorrow, lamentation, pain, dejection, and despair. Yeah. And that, when he came back from the 3 visits, he was extremely distraught. Yeah. It was on the 4th visit that he saw an ascetic, and he was told that that person is a seeker of truth. At that point in time, there were already ascetics, yeah, who are cultivating in various ways, seeking the truth, yeah, trying to put an end to suffering as well. Buddha, seeing one, became inspired that perhaps he can do that as well, and perhaps he would then find an end to aging, sickness, and death. So, having seen aging, sickness, and death, we should regularly remind ourselves. In the teachings, in the Buddhist teaching, there is actually this practice where on a regular basis, be it daily or maybe every few times a week, yeah, we reflect on this. Yeah, we reflect on this. And the reflection is coupled with its counterpart. So we have aging, sickness, and death. And then we have youth, health, and we have life. Yeah. So to reflect, okay, never mind, it's okay. So to reflect, like for example, when we wake up in the morning, to reflect, perhaps we are still young, yeah? Just now when I asked how many of you feel old, handful, so the rest of you are young. So if you are young, to reflect that while we are young, aging can come, yeah? That aging creeps towards us, yeah? That we are creeping forward day by day. And when you wake up, if you don't feel any bodily aches, if you feel, when you breathe, okay, yeah? Like yesterday when towards the end, suddenly she feel like, oh, like that, you know, on one side, this side, yeah. Chest pain, huh?
I thought can knock off straight away.
Can knock off next straight away, huh? Say goodbye to everyone. Oh, then some more 70 over people, one time chant Da Bei Zhou, boom, pure land. Oh, power. Yeah. I think last week or last week, I had chest pain here as well. Yeah. It was a bit like, you know, sometimes 直掉. I don't know how to say that in Chinese. 折到. 直掉. Yeah, and it feels like when you stretch, like there's this stiffness inside. Yeah, so I was thinking, maybe I'm going to die. Yeah, sometimes some friends, when they hear me, some friends or students, when they hear me say this, they feel like, Sifu paranoid. Yeah. Or some of them feel that I'm just joking. But this is actually part of the practice. Yeah. To consider, in fact, not only when you feel a bit of that, but even when you're healthy, to consider that this health is transient. This health is dependent arising. Dependent on conditions, then we have what we call health. Health is the delicate balance between the growth of new cell and the death of old cells. It's the delicate balance of the elements in our body. As long as the balance is there, we are in health. If the balance is even upset by a teeny little bit, then health is gone. And when health is gone, it's not as though health comes out of our body and hide somewhere. And then when we recover, it comes back. Yeah? You think about it. The moments before you catch a flu, you're healthy. Yeah? And then all of a sudden, you're not feeling well. Yeah? Of course, if it's flu, you could say that the virus came in and did an invasion. Yeah. But health and sickness, they are the two sides of the same coin. Yeah. This is the way our life is about, our body. And when we wake up, of course when you wake up, that means you are alive. Is there anyone who woke up and you found that you are dead? Yeah. If you have, please don't raise your hand. Look for me after this. I do counseling. Yeah. For those who are alive and those who are not alive, I can try also. There was once I encountered something that I think is a ghost. Yeah. And when I realized that something is not quite right, maybe it's a ghost, then I went back and check it out again. I thought maybe if you need to talk to somebody, I can, talk to you or something. Then I went back, yeah. So, in case if you are one such person, yeah, see me after this, okay? Don't raise your hand, otherwise the rest will be terrified. Yeah. So most of us, when we wake up, it usually means that we are alive. Yeah. So to reflect, okay, while I'm alive now, death can come anytime. Yeah. Death can come anytime. Let that sink in for a while. Think about it. Have we ever spent our day conscious that life is not certain? Even for myself, I don't dare to say I do that every day. On some days, I just we live our life like it's a blank check, with endless possibilities. Yeah. With endless number of years to use. So my late ordination teacher, he would sort of tease us and say, 我们还想要活多久？活200年？我可以活200岁。Of course, when we sit down and we articulate it, none of us will say, yeah, I can live 200 years. Yeah? But with the way we behave, the way we act, betrays the mindset we have deep inside us. There was one day when I was in US in the monastery, and that was the early part of my monkhood. And on and off, I would have some conflict with the senior monks. Yeah. Me being me, I'm not someone who take things lying down or sitting down. I would really, yeah. I don't say this, although I am saying this and smiling, I don't say this like I'm very proud of it. It is, our habitual tendency, the kind of self-righteousness, thinking that we are right. So there was one time I was a bit ticked off with one of them, and there was one day I did extra sitting, and it was usually it's 7 to in the evening we'll sit 7 to 8:30, and I decided to sit some more, and then the monk the senior whom I'm a bit disgruntled with, he was sitting in front of me, and it so happened that he also wanted to sit longer. So in my mind, nothing wrong with that, right? We should feel inspired that someone else wants to sit longer, right? Oh, but I tell you, when we have defilements, then we're like, what is this, man? I want to sit, you want to sit. In my mind. I didn't say it out. Oh, I tell you, the kind of things that our mind would tell us. So I was sitting. I sat until about 9:30. So around about 9:30, 9:45. So about that. And then I was doing reflection about impermanence. And then it struck me very deeply. How deeply? It struck me so deeply that I literally jumped out of my seat when I heard him shuffling and preparing to leave. Yeah. Because at that moment, my appreciation is that now, at this moment, we are alive, regardless of how it was, the next moment, I don't know whether he's going to be alive. I don't know whether I am going to be alive. Immediately I jump out and then kneel down and prostrate to him and apologize. Cannot wait a second moment. If we truly, even at my low level of appreciation of impermanence, we wouldn't hold grudges. We wouldn't think, why must I always be the one to apologize? Why can't he apologize first? Why must I even apologize? I am correct. Yeah. For me at that moment, not allowing any negativity or any unwholesomeness between myself and that senior to even pass for one more moment. That's the most important. Or for that matter, to even let it, dwell overnight. Yeah. So this reflection is not about becoming morbid and when am I going to die? Better make a booking with Army Tour to come and fetch me. Yeah. I mean, sometimes we do give people that impression, and perhaps sometimes that's what we are trying to do. Yeah. Some of you are in a rush to go to Pure Land, right? Yeah. And that's fine. Nothing wrong with wanting to go to Pure Land. Yeah. But sometimes we do it in a way that makes people feel like Buddhism is such a paranoid, pessimistic religion. Yeah. But in fact, it is not. Because when we appreciate that these things that we cherish so deeply, we hold so dearly to our heart, it's also the very reason and factor that compels us to live our life in haughtiness. Unconsciously. I don't say that we purposely, we intentionally, but unconsciously. When we are infatuated with youth, with health, with life, then it shapes the way we think, the way we speak, the way we act. We don't say that, we consciously sit down and think in this way. It's the unconscious, that mindset inside. So if we were to internalize, reflect on this frequently, that youth is uncertain, aging comes, that health is uncertain, sickness hits us, that life is uncertain, death can come upon us. Yeah. Chinese, we have this belief that when we die, the two good friends will come and fetch us. Yeah. In fact, in Chinese custom, to even say the name, shall we say together? Or all of you, hey, next time don't come to this place. Next time don't come. This monk crazy. Keep on saying Yeah. There's another name for them. If I don't recall wrongly, do you know their other name? 一个黑一个白。黑这样写对吗？
对，黑白的。
黑白。黑白无常。So, this 黑白无常 is actually modeled after two actual persons. The two of them were actually constable in ancient China, in one of the dynasty. And the two of them are actually very good friends. And one of them, there was one time, the two of them agreed to meet under a bridge, for whatever reason or something. And then one of them, I think, didn't arrive or something, and the other guy waited until he got drowned. Some story around that. Yeah, so there was one of them who got hanged, yeah, and so the tongue is sticking out. Yeah, the Hei Bai Wu Chang, one of them had the tongue sticking out, the other one, like the whole face is like very strange color. The strange color one is the one who got drowned, the other one hanged himself. Yeah, but the two of them are very righteous. Yeah, so there's some story around them, but the description Hei Bai Wu Chang, to me is that there's some Dharma infused into it. Yeah, so it is actually a personification of the impermanence of life. Yeah, but if we tell people impermanence will come, not scary enough. Draw two pictures. Oh, scared. Yeah, this Hei Bai Wu Chang actually is talking about impermanence. Yeah, and this Hei Bai Wu Chang is always around, lurking around. That makes sense, huh? Because impermanence can come anytime, huh? So if we reflect on this frequently, we will not live our life with regrets. We would cherish our day to day and not think, never mind, I can leave it for tomorrow. Yeah. So the three divine messengers, I hope we do not forget them. Yeah. Keep them in mind, but keep them in mind not to get ourselves paranoid, but to urge ourselves, to compel ourselves to live our life to the fullest, yeah, and make good use of our life, not just to enjoy ourselves, but to learn something meaningful, to be of service towards others and ourselves. And in order to do that, we need to learn more. Okay? If you have any questions, now is the time for you to ask. Then, when we have finished, then we will wrap up. Any questions? Any of you seen Hei Bai Wu Chang recently? She has question? How come she looks surprised that she has question?
No, actually the question is about in the Heart Sutra class. You give us a homework. So what is when something is inherent?
Yes.
So my question is, how about the mother's love?
Mother's love.
It won't change based on the conditions. No matter what happens, the mother's love is always there.
It's always there.
So
how about when you are sleeping?
When I'm sleeping.
Yeah, when you are sleeping, and do you still have? Is the mother's love still present? Is it still present?
I don't know.
So to go and think about it. So she's referring to the Friday Heart Sutra class at the Singapore Buddhist Federation. So in the first lesson, I gave them the homework to write down 3 things that get them upset. The second week, we went through Laksa, and then I got them to go through, to find an object and apply the principle of dependent arising existence and emptiness, to apply it onto the object, yeah? To dissect an object to see how it is dependent arising and empty of inherent nature. So last week, when we had the third lesson, I gave them a third exercise, which is to to identify an object, yeah, something that is actually inherent. Yeah. So just now Honker was asking, what about mother's love? Yeah. In at least 2 other Heart Sutra classes, students have pointed out this, and they insisted mother's love is inherent, is always there. Yeah. I do find it very interesting. Color me sexist, yeah. But I do find that women have a tendency to always want to feel very special. You know, women have a tendency to say, "You all don't know how it feels." Well, I don't say that I know how it feels. Yeah, I'm not a woman, yes. Yeah, but the same can be said about men, isn't it? Women don't know how men feel. For that matter, I don't know how Zhou Bing feel. Zhou Bing don't know how I feel. I don't know how Man Xing feel. None of us know how anybody else feel. It's not about gender. It's just about the fact that we don't know. You know? Yeah. I don't know. This is how I feel. But mother's love. So just off the cuff, I can think of a counter example, which is when we are asleep, then our mind is inactive. So that love, is it still present? Is it still present when we are asleep?
Actually, should I to see if one day if I die, so I cannot show the love to my children?
One day when you die,
Are you trying to say that? Or are you trying to remind me that?
I'm not trying to remind you, but let's explore this, okay? So, do you believe or do you subscribe to the teaching that there is rebirth?
Actually, not really.
So then what do you subscribe to? Do you think that this is the only life you have? Or what do you believe will happen to you after you die?
That's why I'm exploring in this class, but I'm not.
Yeah, let him hug you. Just let him hug you. Just speak to the mic. Yeah.
Actually, I'm not sure.
Okay, so it's
I'm
okay.
not sure what will happen if I die.
Okay, so you don't have to be sure, but just at this moment, what do you think will happen? We're going to finish in 5 minutes' time. Yes. So what do you think will happen to you after you die? We know that when we die, we cannot move the body. Yeah, that at some point, if we leave the body there, it will decay, it will rot, it will disintegrate, and at some point, if you put the body in a glass container, you see that it basically just break down and just become gooey and fluid. Yeah, if you put it into bury it into the soil, the moisture will all either evaporate or break down, and the gunk, the goo, everything, it will just seep into the soil and become integrated, into the soil, and then some part of it will decompose. The decomposition will release gases. Yeah. So as far as the body, we know what will happen. Yeah. So there's a few possibilities that you can consider. Either there's rebirth or no rebirth. Yeah. Being in the Buddhist context, this is the number one is the standard model. Yeah, but I don't say that you must accept that. So either you have rebirth or you don't have rebirth. Okay, let's look at these two possibilities. Number two possibility, let's say somehow there's no rebirth for you. Okay, so no rebirth means that after you die, boom, you disappear. Right? So is that love still there?
Love will stop. At least as long as you are alive, then the mother's love is, I find it's unconditional.
So the condition for you to be alive, the fact that you are alive, that is a condition. Yeah, we cannot put in a condition and say that is not a condition. For the factor that you must be alive, for the love to be present, is a condition. Understand? So in that aspect, that love is still conditional. Now we may argue and say that, okay, but the fact is that as long as my son, hello, Yeah. So this is where sometimes I'm like, yeah, okay lah. But sometimes when I see this, right, this reminds me of something. This situation reminds me of, on Facebook, there are many cat owners who will say, oh, I can't do anything with my cat. My cat always like to just climb over my laptop while I'm doing my work. Yeah. Yes, our cat would like to do that, but it's because cat owners allow it. So our children would like to play with the mic, but it's up to us to let him or not. But anyway, so there are many ways where the mother's love is conditional. Yeah, the presence of our child is required. So consider your two sons, right? When you gave birth to your first son, do you have love for your first son? Say yes. Did you have love for your second son? Yeah. When you only gave birth to your first son, you didn't have your second son yet. Because you didn't know about your second son, you didn't have love for him. So that is a condition. You must know your son. Yeah. So it means that it's not inherent in you. That's the meaning of inherent. Yeah. But it's a nice feeling. It's not a nice feeling to tell people that their mother's love is not unconditional. Yeah. And the reason why I say that women always like to feel special is because you mean mothers feel that only their love is unconditional. Father's love conditional? Yeah? To me that's very sexist actually. Yeah, it's very sexist. Why do we feel that, oh, because I'm a mother, then only my love is unconditional, father conditional? Why do we feel that way? If you want to argue, we should argue for both and say that parents' love are unconditional. Yeah? Why do we keep on insisting mother's love? So special, ah? But 师父, it's different. Come out from my stomach. Now, do not be mistaken that I'm not grateful to my mother. I'm very grateful. But to me, this kind of, to me, to make it additionally special is cheapening it. Just because you include father inside, it doesn't make it lesser. But the fact that you have to exclude father, it means that we actually don't feel so special about it. If it's important enough, it's important enough whether you include father or not. Yeah. The fact that we want to have exclusive rights to it means that our love is not unconditional. We want to have ownership over it. It's still me. It's about mother and not about the child. That's not love. Yeah. But then what do I know? I'm not a mother. I'm not even a father. Think about it. Yeah. This doesn't have to be the last statement, the last word on it, okay? Yeah. Because that whole exercise is that. The whole exercise that I gave you all is for you all to continue to ask, to inquire. Yeah. So don't take my word as the last word and feel that, okay, I cannot think further. Go and challenge what I said. Go and think about what I said. And come up with more backings and reasonings, arguments against it. Okay? All right? Good. Continue thinking. All right? Put our palms together. 愿消三障诸烦恼，愿得智慧真明了，普愿罪障悉消除，世世常行菩萨道。阿弥陀佛，起立。